Flave comes through with his daily Trey Lance hate, saying Niners Super Bowl odds went way down last night. Still not as low as they were with Trey. That sounds like misinformation. So we're still better off than we were in preseason. I'm doing okay. I'm sure this is Flave being tongue-in-cheek. We're going to talk about Flave and other Jimmy Garoppolo fans and their disdain for Trey Lance in just a minute. But thank you, Flave. It's always good to see you. This one's for Flave. Why Jimmy Garoppolo fans hate Trey Lance so much? I mean, Brock Purdy comes in, they give him a nice pat, and hey, look at Brock. He looks really nice. I hate Trey. He's a bust. And the sooner we get rid of him, the better. Why do Jimmy Garoppolo fans hate him so much?
I think there are several reasons that go into it. One, and this is, I really honestly believe this to be true. This is one of the reasons. There's several. One is, people have an unhealthy obsession with Jimmy Garoppolo because he's a charismatic, good-looking dude. This is a weird reason to really like a quarterback, but you see it. I'm just being honest. People do have a real weird obsession, unhealthy obsession for Jimmy Garoppolo in some way, and they look at Trey Lance as a threat. He's the reason Jimmy's going to be gone, and they're not looking forward to it. Another reason I have is the history of Jimmy Garoppolo, just 49er fans, people that appreciate what Jimmy's done, took him to the NFC Championships, took him to a Super Bowl. There's a group of the fan base, particularly the younger dynamic demographic, that's all they've seen. That they've only seen the Super Bowls and the NFC Championship games with Jimmy Garoppolo. So there's that part of it too. Now, this is the most controversial thing, but I think there is racial bias, whether it's unconscious or not. That also comes into play here from a small segment. I'm not saying that's why everyone's like that, but there is a small segment of every fan base in this country that has that racial bias, and I see that come out.
Let's talk about it. Why do Jimmy Garoppolo fans love Jimmy Garoppolo so much? He's not a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I think what his fans like about him, they feel like he looks like a traditional quarterback. He stands in the pocket. He's got a quick release. He's accurate. He distributes the ball. He's got a good smile. He has a nice jawline. He looks like what a lot of people want a quarterback to look like. He operates the way, and so they believe. I mean, I think image is a big part of it, but it's also how he plays. And if you believe that that's the right way to play quarterback, then you're into him. And then you see Trey Lance come along. He's the exact opposite. He wants to extend the play. He runs the ball. He doesn't have a quick release. Accuracy is his biggest issue. So he's like on the other end of the spectrum of Jimmy Garoppolo. So if you're the kind of person that thinks Jimmy is the ideal type of quarterback, you're going to hate Trey. You're not going to hate Trey, but you're not going to like Trey. And then the fact that the Niners traded all that to bring in Trey, that shows that the team disagrees with Jimmy Garoppolo fans about Jimmy Garoppolo. The team has decided they can't win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance is the walking embodiment of Jimmy Garoppolo's failure. And Jimmy Garoppolo fans hate it. So they spin it instead of it being, well, Trey's here and that shows that Jimmy can't win a Super Bowl. It's Trey sucks. No, Trey's the one who sucks. He's a bust after 4 starts. Get him off the field. Like, he never got a chance because he represented the failure of their savior. And these are people that call him Jimmy Jesus. You understand? So that's why they hate Trey Lance. He represents the failure of their savior. He was a false prophet.
I am struggling over here. My bad, man. Choking.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I think one thing that 49er fans that are really heavy Jimmy fans, they kind of contradict themselves a little bit because a lot of them are very pro Kyle, pro organization. But Kyle and the organization, those are the guys that wanted to get rid of Jimmy. So, why are you mad at me for supporting who they chose to replace him? You should be mad at them. Be mad at Kyle Shanahan. Be mad at John Lynch for trying to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo as much as you are mad at me because I support Trey Lance.
I also think there's this undercurrent. This is a very subversive undercurrent in the fan base, but also in the locker room of Kyle doesn't know what he's doing. This organization, it's Jimmy and it's us vets that have been here for 5. We're the team. And it's Jimmy, it's Juszczyk, it's Kittle. It's these guys that sort of seem like they're on their own agenda. And it's with Kyle sometimes, it's not with Kyle sometimes. I think that's a big problem. And for Trey Lance to ever really get a fair shake with this team, they're going to have to weed out players that don't want him to be the quarterback. And I just don't know where some of these vets stand on it. I think Kyle probably does, though.
Yeah, and that's, brings it up the question about Jimmy next year. Will he return? It's almost at some point, and also if Purdy does really well, that kind of takes away the argument of needing Jimmy as a backup. But if you bring Jimmy back, and man, you're just going to continue more of what we saw this year from the team and the fan base.
Flave, Trey had multiple chances. Purdy only needed one. Bottom line, how many opportunities does the number 3 pick need to compete over 60% of his passes? So hold on. You evaluate quarterbacks based on their first, second, third, fourth start? Flave, that's disingenuous. What did you think of Josh Allen in his first 4 starts? Or Jalen Hurts? Come on, Flave. Do better. Darnay Harvey says Flave getting talking points from Chris Sims interviews. I like Chris Sims. Flave says, LOL, my fiance is black.
What does that mean? What does that mean, Flay?
Oh, Flave, dude, what are you doing? Sometimes people bring race into things when they aren't smart enough to think of a rebuttal. Trey isn't good. Trey just isn't good. If he was, Jimmy wouldn't have been here this year. Sorry.
Didn't you
Trey just isn't good
to justify your point? So are you not smart enough to think of a rebuttal?
Trey just isn't good. Hey, man. I love the Jimmy Garoppolo fans. They're just really good quarterback scouts. They can project the future. They've seen enough. 4 starts, it's it. That's all we need to see. It's it. You're done.
I can't, man.
But really, it's only because Trey's blocking Jimmy. That's the only reason they want Trey to be done after 4 starts. They've seen enough.
I pull for Trey more than anything. The reason why I pull for Trey is because of all the unjustified hate that he gets, and I just want to see him prove all you guys wrong. That's really why I pull for Trey more than anything.
Yeah. Most quarterbacks go to teams that with fan bases that like them and want them to succeed. Flave says, according to McCaffrey, Purdy, and Trey, the backups have learned a lot from Jimmy. According to everyone, Brady is a douche to the backup. According to everyone. So actually, what he's saying, implying, is that Jimmy Garoppolo, you learn more being around Jimmy Garoppolo than Tom Brady. Flav, dude, man, come on. Like, do you type this with a straight face? Flave, I've been a fan longer than most of these kids in here. I'm Niners first. It would be hard to watch if 10-point Trey is out there, though. Oh. All right, man. Thanks. Enjoy it. That's your team. Flav, stop giving me money. I appreciate you. Who is the best quarterback that has been Brady's backup? Jacoby Brissett. What makes you think Brady helps his backups? LOL. Yeah, man. I think what Flav is saying is that Jimmy Garoppolo is a huge disappointment and it's Brady's fault. But he's acknowledging that Jimmy Garoppolo is just not a good player. And it's maybe if Tom Brady took him under his wing, Jimmy would be what Flav wants him to be. Good call, Flav. I'm with you.